Hello everyone, my name is Joe Burgett and this is Burgett00. That's right, my channel on YouTube. Now I want to kind of clarify a few things before. I do have strep throat, kind of weird, but I'm feeling a lot better. After a penicillin and steroid shot, you start to feel really good very fast, right? I promised a lot of people I'd do these videos and I just haven't done them. So I wanted to make sure that, we kind of wreck on the right foot. The last time I wore something like this, I will admit, I was in a lot of trouble. But, I decided to change ties. And, there we are. You change from a dark tie to a white tie, and things suddenly just get a lot better. And a change of scenery, too, by the way. I don't know if anyone's noticed that. Strep throat, by the way, I want to kind of get this little health update out there. If you have any kind of chest pains, if you have a headache, dizziness, as well as just regular throat pains, or you just, feel tired and, just feel awful, you need to go see a doctor about that, because probably you have strep throat. It's going around all over the country this time of year. Some people are carriers and they don't even know it. So go and get checked out, get your throat swabbed, just to check and see if you have it. Because if you don't, you're cool. But if you do, it's something that can be taken care of very quickly, because it can cause a lot of issues. Trust me. I've been through it the past few days. Any case, I want to throw that out there, but the real reason I'm here is wrestling, right? I mean, people want to know my opinion on that, and I'm very happy you do, but the thing about that is, I needed questions. So I went to twitter.com, and I asked people, hey, you want to know things? Let me know what they are, and I'll answer them. So a lot of people decided to do that, and I printed out a little copy of the questions. I've got a few questions here from @SirBenGartland. He asks, who will win at Now Champions, Punk or Triple H? And will we see a Kevin Nash sighting? Okay, Ben, here's the issue on that. Triple H is COO. CM Punk is the guy he doesn't like. CM Punk's the guy that everyone else likes, though. You gotta keep him around, so you can't fire him. But, he doesn't have much of a stipulation against him. But Triple H does. See, if Triple H loses, he loses the COO rights, which means that we don't see the game on TV anymore, which means that we have to figure out a whole new way to use Triple H. And he's not gonna be an active member of the wrestling part of it, so you have to make sure that he's only a part-time guy, and we won't see him at all. So I think he's going to have to win at Night of Champions, and he's going to have to win in a controversial way. This is why I feel that Triple H is going to go heel very soon, because it doesn't make much sense for him not to at this point. He had this random stipulation of no DQ, which, the last time he was in a no DQ, I believe, was at WrestleMania against Undertaker, which happened to be his last match. And the problem with this is that Undertaker is gone for a while. He won't be back for a while. But Triple H was built out to look so strong at the end of that. So he gave the dead man everything he could, so everyone knew that Triple H looked good in no DQ matches. But the problem in the long run is that you have a guy who has got a lot of ring rust. He hasn't been around in months in a ring, and even if he goes down to FCW training up a little bit, he's not going to be the same type of guy that CM Punk will be. So match-wise, you're going to have to give him something that they can run off of, which is no DQ stipulation. And that's going to be a lot more helpful for Triple H, so that's why they're doing it. But also, it kind of makes you think a little bit. Okay, the stipulation of COO being gone, no DQ, what does that think? I mean, what are you going to think? I mean, the fact that Kevin Nash is not going to run in and cost someone the title and make it all legal and then someone wins in a controversial way, it just makes too much sense for it not to happen, right? So I think Kevin Nash will be at Night of Champions, and I do believe that the whole firing thing's a big angle. Yeah, they did a nice little thing going on WWE.com. They even talked about on Wednesday, I believe, that, Triple H fired Kevin Nash on Monday. When someone's actually released, if they release that day, they report it that day on the website. They don't just report it days later. So it has to be a storyline. To me, Kevin Nash will be there. He'll cost CM Punk. Why would that happen? Because the heel turn for Triple H. So my expectation is Triple H will win. He also asked, what's your opinion on Airborne being tag champs, and your opinion on the name Air Boom? First off, I like the name Air Boom. It's a pretty good, cool name. It works for both of them. The Airborne and the boom, boom, boom that you get with Kofi. It makes too much sense for it not to happen, right? So you're going to have to do it. But the problem is, though, it does seem kind of kiddie and corny. So I can understand a lot of people having an issue with it. But to me, it's pretty cool. I like it. But usually, just to throw this out there, usually when they have a name given to a tag team, they're going to be around for a little while together. So Jericho and Big Show, for instance, Miz and Big Show, they lasted for a while. So I'm thinking that, you know, they've already made a video package to go with them, and they're going to probably come up with a weird way to use their music if they're really starting to get over, but I don't think that we're going to see them as tag champions for very, very long, but I think it's going to be that they're going to be in the tag team scene for a while. So I expect Air Boom to be a tag team through December, but I expect Kings of Wrestling to come in within this month, or next month actually, and they'll be probably the ones taking the titles from them. So I expect that they'll be faces facing against the heels of Kings of Wrestling, which will add in a lot of fun in the tag team scene. And if they hire other tag teams, which they're planning on doing, Air Boom may actually have a chance to go pretty far, because Kofi's a really good character, but he's not a guy that has great skill on the mic or in storylines. Just, he hasn't proven it to me yet. But he's great in the ring. So I want him to stay around because he's a good wrestler. Then you have Evan Bourne, who's the exact same guy. So you're putting them together, and they have the similar styles, and it just works. So I'm happy to see them in that light, so I say keep it up. But this is the only place I can go. And the next one I have, I don't know if I can actually say his name without being bleeped in some way, but his name is @JellyRapNigga. I'll call him Daryl to kind of throw this out there. He says, okay, who do you think the WWE Champion should be, and do you think it's right for SmackDown to want Randy Orton to stay champion when they've really given him no competition? First off, I think they have given him competition with Christian, but the problem is, though, it's been going on a little long, right? Then they finally gave him Mark Henry, which, oh my god, I'm so bored of Mark Henry. He's always been boring to me, even when he was Sexual Chocolate. But suddenly I'm supposed to believe after his 15 years that he's suddenly revived and a big monster that he wasn't the past 15, 20 years. I don't really think it's going to work. I don't think it's even coming close to working. And so I feel he's going to lose, and I think that Cody Rhodes is going to shine up a little bit in the next month, and he's going to challenge Orton, and I think he may actually win the title from him. If he doesn't, then Orton's probably going to keep it probably through WrestleMania, or up to WrestleMania, which is probably the idea that Daniel Bryan could be involved at that point. So I'm not really sure about Randy Orton. Now, who I think should be WWE Champion? A little tough there. I like Cena. I like CM Punk. I like Del Rio. But Del Rio has been very boring as a champion. He hasn't really been around due to visa issues, and now he just got back and got this taken care of. So he's just now getting into the light, but he's been boring when he's been on TV. He hasn't been any fun at all, and he feels like a third wheel to CM Punk and John Cena. I really think it was the timing that killed him the most, because CM Punk and John Cena came with this fantastic storyline together. And then now, you get Del Rio, who's a first-time champion and not used to the main event scene in WWE. It's not really helping him any, so I feel for him. But he's a good champion, it's just that, you know, he's not going to keep it very long. I think at Night of Champions he's going to lose it. The only reason they gave it to him in the first place, at this time at least, was because they were going to Mexico, Puerto Rico, places like that, and they needed him to be the champion there to kind of sell more tickets, which is obviously a good business move, but it's not something that we're going to like long term. So that's the problem really that he's running into. I feel if he doesn't lose the Night of Champions, he'll lose the next pay-per-view to someone else. Probably CM Punk will challenge next. I'm not really sure how it's going to work with that, but I do hope that we get some new blood in the scene. I'm glad Del Rio is there, but I'm kind of not glad because he's really not producing right. The next one I have is from Robert Atkin BR, who was Robert Atkin from BleacherReport.com. He's a feature columnist there. He said, a decade after WCW's demise, what was WWE's best asset from buying the competition? Really, if you don't want to talk about superstars that they attracted in, I really think they decided to help out the fan base. That was something they helped out a little bit, but I think the fans went away when there was no competition because WWE wasn't producing anything right anymore because they were just doing what they wanted to do, and there's no one saying they had to be better. So it kind of really killed them in the long run in that aspect of things, and they were averaging, 8s, 7s, and now they're averaging 3s for Raw. It's not really a huge rise there. It's kind of a huge drop. So they really want to make sure they actually do things better. But they have no competition to tell them to be better. TNA is not nearly the success that WWE is, and ROH is not even that close. They're just now getting on TV, ROH, so you really can't do much with them. They can't be too much competition because they're not marketed yet. they're not really big. TNA is just finally marketing a little bit now, and they're just really taking WWE names and using them. So everyone they've had that's actually been a success in that company, other than Sting, has been a former WWE name. Everyone else they've got really was a WWE superstar or WCW superstar before they were a TNA one. And the ones that they do have that are originals, they're not using properly, so it's not going over for them very well. I think the biggest thing that WCW gave to WWE, or Vince McMahon, was they gave them the entire WCW fortune, which meant like the video library, the names and rights to everyone that was associated with them, that any kind of trademarks and all that stuff like that, because that meant that WCW would still live on a little bit, but it would only live on in what Vince McMahon wanted to live on in. So Eric Bischoff couldn't just start up a WCW thing and try to run it that way. It just wouldn't work. So I really think the biggest thing, especially with WWE Network coming out, was the fact they had all this footage and they have all these trademarks. Like they own NWO, they own the music, they own everything about that, so no one can use it in another place. And then you add in that you have the whole video library of WCW and NWA stuff, which is huge because that means that WWE Network is going to show it. And so fans will get to go back and relive this kind of stuff. And that's the biggest thing to me, that was the biggest asset. Because nothing else was really matter, because the superstars are going to leave eventually. And the names and trademarks won't ever leave. They're always going to be there. And then you add in the fact that the footage is still going to be there too. And they've got, you know, so many hours of footage from Nitro, Thunder, pay-per-views, you know, NWA stuff. I mean, all this stuff that they didn't have before, they bought it all up for a very low sum of money, which was very sad that AOL sold it for so little. I mean, Chris Jericho even said that if he would have known it was being sold for that much, he would have bought it. And that's how bad it was. That a superstar that leaving the promotion and going to another promotion could afford to buy with his own money that he has saved up an entire promotion that was once considered the top promotion in the entire United States. It's pretty sad. But, you know, Vince McMahon did own it before, and then he let it go again. Then he wanted it back. It's really has always been something that he's always wanted to be his possession, but he finally was able to do that. So I think what we really need to do here is just wrap it up now, because that's all the questions I got. But I do have this other thing I want to talk to you guys about. Now, for a long period of time, Joe Brigette here has been writing with BlueCheckReport.com as a just regular writer. I don't get paid anything or anything like that, but you know, I do write for them, and I'm currently a senior writer there, senior writer level 2. But I've been there for a while, 3 years. But the one thing that I haven't ever asked anyone really is, what do you want me to write about? I've also never asked you guys to give me any kind of competitive thing to write on. And I've always just written my own thing. And I'm just thinking of random stuff to write all the time, but, you know, ideas are going to keep coming, but they're not always going to be there, so I want to ask something from you guys. What do you guys want me to write about? And if there's any kind of thing you want to kind of challenge me on, like if you want to give me songs and a wrestling thing to talk about, and kind of blend a message through that song, through the story or of whatever it is that you have come up with, I can do one of those. I mean, anything that's going to really drive me to get better as a writer, I really want to do that. So just give me all that you can, and you can find me easily by going to BlueCheckReport.com and leaving me something on my wall there, or on any of my articles, or you can find me at joebrigettec@att.net, or you can find me there on Twitter.com at BRSuperstarJoeB. Very simple thing to find. Follow me today if you haven't already. You can friend me on Facebook, which I may or may not accept. You can also find me anywhere, just about. So I'm very easy to find. You can leave a comment here, too, if you would like. So, we're going to wrap it up today. If you have any more questions for me, I'll answer them next week or another time I do these kind of videos. And that's all I got to talk to you guys about. So I hope you enjoyed, and let me know what you think. See you later. Bye.